What's up, everyone? Welcome to Greenlight Your Own Life, the podcast with Tiana. Today, we're going to talk about the identity that you know of versus the history you once knew. Because guess what? Your girl just went through a full transformation on the back of her neck. I just removed a tattoo that I got in my early 20s that I don't identify with anymore. And as it is now to the last phase, I realized I wasn't getting rid of ink. I was releasing an identity that I did not align with. And looking forward, I'm so glad that I did it, because I don't know about you, but have you noticed your girl is a little dressed up today? Because I am moving in a way for the future. The future is bold. The future is bright. The future is here. Let's get into this story to be told, because I definitely learned a few things.
This episode is sponsored by Mood Board to Ovation 2.0 Live with me. We are going to go deeper than a beautiful creative deck. If you have an idea, but you struggle to get your idea across the line, then this experience is for you. We are going to learn how to communicate your idea, lead the room with confidence, and earn the ovation that you deserve. I'll see you August 3rd through 5th. The link is in the bio, and I cannot wait to see you shine. Let's get back to the podcast.
Let me take you back to the early 2000s when I was a young dancer, just living my life. My first tattoo is Faith. If you're watching on video, my first one was Faith. My second one was Grace. The one on the back of my neck was something that I got with my papa, and we wanted to get these crowns, matching crowns on our body. I will say, do not go to somebody's house to get a tattoo. Don't let it be free. Pay for good quality, because mine came out crooked and I was devastated. I was thinking, oh my gosh, why would I put this ink on my body and it's crooked? And I was really upset about it. My mom knew. I said, I just feel like a fool. I love that we were trying to do something together, but this just doesn't feel right. And so we kind of waited, thought about, well, what could we do? And at that point, there was no tattoo removal. There was no just take it off process. It was, let's add more. So being the woman of faith that I am, she suggested that I put an eagle on my neck. She said, God's children soar. And I said, you're right, mommy. That is exactly my truth. I soar. I felt so lifted. And at that point, my life was pretty awesome, touring, living this pop star dancer life. And so I said, yes, let's do that. Well, at that time, tattoos are very thick, very bright. It just was the style. I didn't know any different. Now they're delicate and pretty and fragile, which is gorgeous. And every time I see a person with a tattoo and it looks so dainty, I'm like, I did not get the tattoo dainty era. And for a long time, I was really proud of the tattoo. I was like, look at this badass tattoo on my neck. I really thought it was so cool. But then I realized that the tattoo of the eagle, almost as heavenly as I had hoped it would be, it also gave a very rock and roll vibe, and it kind of felt aggressive. It also had kind of claws and fangs, and it was a very colorful ink on the back of my neck. And so then what ended up happening is I really got put off by putting my hair up in a bun, because it was always a topic of conversation. Oh, you listen to rock and roll, or, oh, do you have a motorcycle? And people would assume stuff with it. And I just kept explaining, no, I'm a child of God. We soar. This is an eagle, but eagle is Americana, whatever. I just felt like it was a conversation I didn't feel like having. Long story long. We are in 2026 now. At the end of 2024 is when I went to Removery to just get a consultation on what would it take to get this thing off of my neck. And they're like, well, it's probably going to take about 10 to 12 sessions, and your sessions happen every 6 to 8 weeks. It's going to take that long because it's older ink and it's deep into your skin. And I thought to myself, I don't even care. Take it off. And as I'm kind of going through this process of it leaving, I always have my hair up now, and I just have a fresh palette back there. And I know that sounds so silly, but I was shedding an identity of just something I didn't match anymore. And it wasn't something that I'm not proud of. I love telling the story. I call it my tour days. I was out, you just were doing whatever that made sense to you at that time. But it was an identity connected to me on the road, me on stage, me living that life. And clearly that's not who I am today. getting that tattoo removed off of my neck, I was realizing it's not that I'm denying the girl of that tattoo. I'm very grateful for that version of me. That version of me got me to where I am today. But it is a sign of letting go of things that just don't align with who I am today or where I'm going. Hence, that's also why I dressed up today, because I've been doing these podcasts with you and I have been coming in a little bit casual, and that's totally fine. Like, I'm trying to find my flow with what this podcast is for me and for you and how I want to show up. But I was like, hold on a second. I feel really fabulous right now. I love that my hair is this gray, curly. People ask, is that your real hair? Yes. And another way I get to say, I've surrendered to Jesus for letting me have this hair. I couldn't keep up with my roots. It started really turning around, I don't know. But I would say, well, my first gray started when I was 13 years old. But then it really started kind of at my crown. When my crown was doing its thing, that's when I knew we've got an issue. And then when I had children, I just really had no time to keep up with the Joneses of my hair. And so I am now in a position where I was like, okay, where do I want to take this? Where do I want to grow with this podcast? Where do I want to position myself in Tiana today? My name. And I love getting dolled up. And I thought to myself, I'm going to move forward. And it's all happening right now. Like, the tattoo on my neck I only have one more session. It is dang near gone. And I'm kind of thinking, oh my gosh, I am her. I am physically kind of like taking this thing away, owning everything that I am with myself and where I'm going and my voice and my beliefs and how I want to show up for people and for myself and for my family. And I thought, how am I going to do that if I just keep coming in kind of like middle of the road when I'm not middle of the road? I'm bold. I'm happy. I'm excited, getting dolled up and coming here right now, even if it's in my home office. Like, I'm pumped. I have so much joy showing up like this. This is not false. This is a dress that I own. I didn't go buy it just for this moment. It just happened to be green. I love green. My son made me a green bracelet the other day. It was so cute. And I was like, he really knows my favorite color. And I thought that was so sweet. So I guess I bring this up to you because this was a chapter of me shedding that life, right? This 20-year-old version of me. And we have many chapters. Everybody that's probably listening to this can say, oh, I identify with this at that point, and then I've evolved, and now I'm looking towards that next layer of life. And these are questions that we can ask ourselves. These are actions that we can do to kind of move forward in the direction that we dream of. And I physically am doing that. And I thought, let's just talk about it. If you follow me on social media, you know I put my notes on the wall. So the note is telling me what no longer fits, where I hope to go with the Tiana Today show. Oh my gosh, this is it. This is what I want to talk about. And I just had this thought in the shower. When I wanted to dance, I said, I want to dance for Janet Jackson. I never got Janet. I got Brittany. I got Christina. When I created my handle, I said Tiana Today. I was hoping and dreaming for a talk show. Guess what? The era of where we are at now today is podcasting. And I am living proof of planting a seed, making it happen, and showing up exactly the way I dreamed of, but in a new way and in a way that I have more connectivity to. I don't know if I was very connected to Janet. I was connected to Janet as a fan, but I was deeply connected to Christina, deeply connected to the Britney era. That made sense to who I was at that time. And at this time, showing up Tiana Today, Greenlight Your Own Life, this aligns. And I bet you if you're watching or listening, you would say this aligns fantastically. So where I don't identify anymore is I don't introduce myself as the dancer. I don't introduce myself as the assistant. I don't introduce myself as even sometimes the creative director, because that is kind of even phasing through of I'm more of a creative producer and I'm a mentor and I'm a host. Like, when you start moving and evolving, how are you introducing yourself to people? Because what I've noticed too is like people want to keep you in the box that they met you. And I think that's just human nature. I don't necessarily think that that's a flaw, but I do think it's up to you to help them see you and understand your new trajectory. And by doing that, then you have to see it within yourself and you have to make those moves and those shifts, those changes so that you can see it and then stand in your power, which I say often. And when you do that, then it's easier and it just rolls off the tongue. It just falls right out. And then it's not I'm no longer that, is I am who I am today. And this is who I am moving forward. And then people are like, you know what? Good for you. Okay. There's so many people that I see in the entertainment industry that identify with multi-hyphenated titles. And I'm like, yes, I believe in that. I truly believe in that. I don't think where I was probably, I don't know, 15 years ago, I thought I had to be seen in one way and one way only. I think it was really coming out of my dance career into the assistant role. I didn't want anyone to know that I had danced, which is awful, awful. And then when they would find out, I would get so embarrassed and so ashamed. And I don't, and not ashamed because of me, but I didn't have any clothes on. I was in, like, little chonies and bra tops. So I'm like, oh gosh, they've seen me in my skivvies. I take full ownership now today. I love the career that I had as a performer with every artist, from the scandals to the wholesome. I've done it all. Like, I'm totally proud of it, but I don't present myself in that way. If anything, on my social media, I say former dancer, just because it is my past. Your history deserves gratitude and your future deserves honesty. And when you can put pen to paper and look at all the things that you've done and be accomplished and pat yourself on the back, give yourself a round of applause for things that you have gotten through, and know that if you've gotten through that, you can do even more moving forward. Hence, Greenlight Your Own Life is the action. It is the permission slip that you are allowed to change and evolve. If there's one thing that is consistent in life, it is that change is inevitable. And once I realized that, I allowed myself to ride the wave of change and not be fearful of it. Now, sometimes when I see change, like when I see it coming and I'm like, gosh, we're about to change, do I get emotional? 1000%. I'm a Cancer. July 13th, don't you forget it. I am an emotional little lady who can crawl into a shell, and I can get very, very emotional, especially when it comes to change. But when I start feeling the emotions of that, I also know that breakthrough is just across the line of what it's going to be if I just keep putting one foot in front of the other. So I let myself cry. I let myself purge. I let myself write everything out. I let myself rest in those moments, because if there's anything that I have noticed also is following the pattern of my life. When I crash out and I know that something is really shifting, my process is purging. And because I've noticed the action of purge, I almost get excited for it, because I'm like, oh, I know it's about to get good in a little bit. I just got to get it out of my system. I just need to pour into my emotions and don't let it stay there for too long, because I know the good grace is about to be on the other side, and I am excited for it. But that's because I'm listening, I'm observing, I'm paying attention to patterns, to my life, to the universe, to what God has to say to me. And I truly think that if I were to be resistant to all of that, I wouldn't know my full potential. But guess what? I get to create my own space. I get to creatively express myself and make that available, not only for me to get out into the world, but for you to see that it's possible. And if I didn't show up, then maybe we would all just think the same thing, that we're not meant to evolve, we're not allowed to change, and we're not allowed to really see our full potential. So the green light assignment today is take inventory of your life, pay attention to what is working, what is not working, and ask yourself, does this align with my future? And it could be as simple as removing a tattoo from your body that was done 20 years ago. And then you realize that is not the little lady that you are today or where you're going. What is that for you? Thank you so much for showing up today. Share it with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe. And I cannot wait to see you on the next one. Have the best day. Go greenlight your own life. Ciao, ciao for now.